Don't move.
Buddy, if I had a nickel for every don't move...
Hey, Pete.
MJ? What are you doing here?
Same as you. Working. At least, I was.
I think it's important that we talk about Mary Jane from the newest Spider-Man game. Not only is she a great character, she helps Spider-Man's narrative feel more progressive. I briefly touched on it in our Spider-Man retrospective and our benefits to gaming, and if you haven't seen those videos yet, make sure you check them out when we're finished here. With that being said, we have potential spoilers for Marvel's Spider-Man. I feel like there's a slow increase of prominent female characters in gaming. Characters like Lara Croft, Aloy, and Senua prove that strong female leads can and will sell games to consumers. It's always been a big thing to choose which gender your character can play as in certain games, but more and more franchises are giving players the opportunity to pick the side that they identify with. But it doesn't beat having a strong character meant to be a woman that can push the narrative and the gaming industry as a whole in a more revolutionary direction. Mary Jane encapsulates a strong, independent character while being an advocate for equality amongst her peers. Not only can she handle herself well and do what needs to be done to achieve her goals, she pushes Peter towards a perspective that we all need to start looking into. I love MJ in the story, mainly because it throws away her personas of being a waitress or an actress, and definitely strips her of that damsel in distress identity that she can often be pushed into. When we run into Mary Jane in this story, it's almost always due to the fact that she's working on some sort of case for the Daily Bugle. She works tirelessly at her job to make sure it's done well and to the best of her ability. The thing that makes her an interesting character is the fact that she, throughout the entirety of the game, has her own goals and objectives. They may overlap with Spider-Man's at times, but she is always in it for herself, focusing on getting what she needs to do done. Yes, she is Peter's love interest, and of course she is because these two characters are supposed to have an emotional connection, but Marvel's Spider-Man handles it in such a unique way. They didn't break up for any sort of dramatic reason like cheating, priorities, or lack of emotional connection. MJ left Peter for a reason that is prominent in media in general, and uses this reason as a statement towards relative issues women have been facing. The best part is the game then provides its audience with a plot that intends to fix this issue. Mary Jane left Peter due to equality, or lack thereof. She never directly uses the word equality, but instead replaces it with a word that's just as significant in any relationship: partner. Tired of being viewed as a sidekick, and after seeing how the problem wouldn't be fixed on Peter's end, she decided to leave him behind. This is extremely important in her character development, because she understands her own value. She knows what she brings to the table, and it's what drives her character to do everything she does throughout the story. If Peter won't see her as an equal, then there is no need for her to be around. She's more than capable of surviving on her own. She continually shows resilience throughout the 16-hour story, finding the information she needs through strategy, aggression, and at times, really good timing. I do find her and Miles' gameplay segments lackluster at times, especially since they ended right when they gave Mary Jane enough mechanics to show something of interest. But that's besides the point. When it cuts to Mary Jane's narrative points, she takes the stage and holds just as much attention as Spider-Man does. The most important gameplay segment for her story arc is easily the bit in the Grand Central Station, because this is the culmination of everything that her and Peter have been working on. It's not necessarily the end to her character arc, but it's easily the most important part. In this scene, we actually play as Mary Jane for a majority of the time, but we don't exactly lose control of Spider-Man either. That may sound confusing, but actually playing this segment, it makes a lot of sense. Again, Mary Jane has been pushing for equality between the two characters. She believes that he needs to stop acting as if she can't handle herself, and the Grand Central Station stealth level is the perfect place for her to prove how valuable she is. Not only has she been able to communicate properly with Peter for the entirety of the level, she proves that two of them working together are better than them individually. Peter is the brawn, but in this scenario, he is nothing without his brain. She guides him throughout the station, letting him know when the best time to strike is, and this is what I mean by controlling both of them together. Spider-Man works as almost a gadget for Mary Jane to use, but the underlying idea is what I want to bring to your attention. You control both of them at the same time. Movement is placed on Mary Jane, the planning and thought process is all happening while controlling her. But the execution and taking on enemies is all done by Peter. He never makes his move unless informed by his partner. This gameplay mechanic is a wonderful representation of what Mary Jane wants from their relationship, and it makes the story be even more impactful. We see these two try to rekindle their relationship and their struggle in doing so, but this is the part that really drives home how important MJ is to him. We only get a brief resolution between the two, and it's probably the most impactful part of their relationship. It's been a well-known part of her character from the comics, to the movies, to the TV shows, that Spider-Man needs to save her from trouble. The typical love interest is in danger against her own free will idea. Her yearning in this story, her biggest desire is to feel as important as Peter is in their relationship, wanting to be the one to save him for a change. She is rescued a few times in the story, yes, but she realizes in this moment that at times she needs Spider-Man to save her, and that's okay. It doesn't make her any less strong or independent, because she isn't looking to be the hero, or trying to be more important than her counterpart. She just wants to be equal, and that may involve needing help at times. She doesn't just get saved though, she does the saving. She provides valuable information and she works well with her partner. Mary Jane is progressive, she is smart, she encapsulates what we need in a female character. Marvel's Spider-Man is a great game with great gameplay, but it thrives on its emotionally relatable characters. For some, it may be too on the nose, for others they may not have paid any attention to the story, but it should be well known at this point that Mary Jane is an important woman figure in modern gaming. Although she isn't a main character, nor is she playable for the majority of the game, she still provides immense value to the narrative. Just as much as Miles, just as much as Doc Ock, and just as much as the wall crawler himself.
You ready?
Wait, hold on!
It's too late. You're up!
You are crazy.
You're amazing.